What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the MaxCoverage Podcast, live edition. And happy weekend for you, Kiefer. How you doing today, man?
I'm feeling great. It's
That's
Friday.
what I'm talking about.
Work is done.
Weekend's here. Time to relax. Time to talk to y'all about all the NFL drama, all the NFL news and updates that's swirling around the league right now as we are going through OTAs right now. I think today was the last day for the OTAs, so we're heading into mini camp now. The
Yep.
mandatory stuff. You have to get your ass to you better get your ass there or they're gonna find you. But we have some pretty big news that's coming out of the league. Well, not football related, off the field, of course. More stuff about Deshaun Watson. I mean, this guy's name is constantly in the news, in the headlines, and it's not football related. It's more news coming out about what's going on around his civil cases. We all know he didn't get any criminal charges. He won't be going to jail for any of this stuff. But now there's more news coming out about the Texans involved in all of this. And now more news have come out saying there's 66 he hit up like 66 girls for massages throughout the 17-month span with the Texans. And now we have a 24th plaintiff coming through with some details that we're not going to talk about on. It's very in-depth details about what's been going on about his massages and stuff. But now there's more drama coming out, Kiefer. Like, how much of an impact will this news play for like his? We expect that he's going to get punished, right? What do you think? Do you think this could maybe make it? We were guessing 6 games, but do you think it could be longer now from all this crap coming out?
Honestly, I do. I do think it could be longer than we expected. I really don't know what to expect from the NFL right now because I actually feel like this situation is a little unprecedented for them because listen, they've had terrible things happen with players. I mean, the Aaron Hernandez shit was crazy, like all these crazy things. But normally, when it's this crazy, there normally is criminal charges, like the Mike Vick thing. They normally do end up going to jail, which honestly makes the NFL's job a little bit easier because they're already going to jail. They're already going to miss that time. And then you can tack on your punishment, but they've already received a punishment. With the Watson thing, it's so different because he clearly did something freaking terrible. I mean, you know this. I loved Watson as a player before all this stuff came out. Like from his second game as a Houston Texan, it was pretty clear that he had an incredible skill set. But now you look at all this shit that's coming out, and I honestly feel like it could affect his leadership in a locker room, man, because there's going to be guys that just don't fucking respect that shit, that are just going to be like, I hate Watson. Like, I hate this dude because he's just disgusting. You look at the pattern of behavior. I mean, 66 massage therapists, bro. Honestly, I feel like confidently you did something wrong just in the fact that you think about how serious an athlete takes their body. Dude, why the fuck did you not find one massage therapist that was right for your body? Like, you're literally going from massage therapist to massage therapist, bringing your own towel. Like, the details that have come out, I feel like they are going to hurt his reputation dramatically more than it's already been hurt, because when the details come out, man, it's like, okay, this is pretty obvious that you were up to something, bro. Mm-hmm. And I mean, the last one because they basically said that he was going to a room that was owned by the Texans, a hotel room that was owned by the Texans, using a different name, which the different name thing actually isn't that big of a deal because celebrities and famous people do that all the time. They just don't want people to know who's in the room because of who they are. So that's actually not that weird. But the fact that you were using the Texans hotel room, you literally got a security guy to give you a copy of an NDA, which the whole thing's stupid because, like, bro, an NDA is not going to protect you from being a sexual predator, which is what is coming. It looks like you're a sexual predator, bro. Like, I mean, I don't know what else to say, but with this situation, it sucks for the league because, like, how can you let this dude play this year? Like, honestly, like, I feel like you really got to consider a multi-year suspension. Like, I would honestly feel like you have to consider that because even if you, and the shittiest part is Deshaun Watson has so many protections in right now. Like, even if they suspend him this whole year, this guy got the bag already. Like, all of his money this year is signing bonus money. So he's still going to get that regardless of whether he plays or not. It's not salary. So that's why another reason I feel like you got to consider the 2-year suspension. I don't even know what the NFL can do about this. Man, it is a shitty situation. And if you're the Browns right now, I mean, I don't know this. This is total speculation, but I'm just saying I do think it's possible that Deshaun Watson told them something different, and then this story comes out and it looks even worse. Like, from their eyes, like, I think it's possible that they could regret this move, and they're gonna see backlash from fans and shit. I mean, I expect it, because you look at what happened with Michael Vick with dogs, and a ton of people were pissed at the Eagles, and there was protests all over the place. I mean, we're talking about a sexual predator basically playing on the Cleveland Browns right now. So I think that it could be loaded with protesters. Like, we're going to see what happens, man. I mean, we're going to see it. If there's a big deal made out of it, we're going to see it, because it'll happen as soon as the public training camp dates open. That's the first time we'll see it.
Yep. And like, just to put things in perspective, man, the NFL suspended Calvin Ridley a year for betting on games. So you gotta, I'm looking at those two, and I'm gonna, compare the two. There's no way you give him a full year, a suspension for gambling on games, $1,500 betting on the NFL, and you only give Deshaun Watson 6 games, 8 games, anything less than a year of what he has been doing with all these women. I mean, I'm with you, man. Like, I loved Deshaun Watson. The talent was awesome, and he carried himself like a great human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole charity work with Houston when the hurricane, happened, he donated a bunch of money. He helped schools. He's helped, the community like a ton in Houston. And then this just blindsided all of us, like, this shows what kind of true guy he is, because I'm at the point where, like, there's no more defending him. You can't, like, even though he's not going to go to jail for any of this stuff, this is all just a bunch of, like, messed up crap. Like, there's going to be women protesting. If I'm the Browns, you're probably going to lose half of your fan base, because if I'm a woman and I wouldn't want to go to a game supporting this team that's ran the main guy, the quarterback, is this kind of guy. You know what I'm saying? So, like, definitely the Browns and the league are in deep trouble, because bad look for the league in general to have this guy in your league still with all this going on. I mean, 24 still civil cases to go and more and counting, and then more news is coming out, and then the attorney comes out for him saying, it's not illegal to have happy endings. So his attorney just literally proved all this stuff was going on without saying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just hinted at, because you already know Deshaun Watson has told him details, because that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? You need to tell your attorney the truth and what's been going on. So that just shows right there that Deshaun Watson has been doing all this. You know what I'm saying? It's just a bad look, and I'm with you. This might be a multi-year suspension now. I was thinking 6 games, but now anything less than a year, because I'm going to compare Ridley and him, it's just a slap in the face.
Yeah, and you know what's also crazy to think about? So, like, we've obviously seen the Browns being, like, thrown through the ringer for this contract and everything, but when you think about not even from the Browns' perspective, like, there was 16 teams that called about Deshaun Watson. And then on top of that, there was 4 that was literally willing to give up as much compensation as possible. It was literally Deshaun Watson got to pick his destination. It was at that level. So the amount of interest, it's kind of embarrassing for the NFL, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just a big mess, man. This is definitely going to be the main topic heading into this season. When's the punishment going to happen? What are they waiting for? You know what I'm saying? So, like, we'll see. We'll keep a close eye out on this news, because this is big. But some more drama has brewed up around the league about Jack Del Rio and his comments. And I'm just going to put it on the screen for all y'all, man, because this is what Jack Del Rio, the defensive coordinator of the Commanders, has said publicly in a press conference, he's talking about the George Floyd protest. He said, quote, I can look at images on the TV. People's livelihoods are being destroyed. Businesses are being burned down. No problem, end quote. And then he later said, quote, and then we have a dust up at the Capitol. Nothing burned down, and we're going to make that a major deal. I just think it's kind of two standards. And if we're apply the same standard and we're going to be reasonable with each other, let's have a discussion, end quote. That's just, what the hell kind of comments are these? Like, why did he come out and make these comments? First of all, he brought up the January 6th Capitol and calling it a dust up. That was an act of terrorism in this country. And now Ron Rivera has came in and said, listen, I'm gonna fine your ass $100,000 because that's just not right. That's just bad look on this team. And salute to Ron Rivera for taking a stand and fighting him for this, because I'm on the side where, like, this is way out of bounds. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is.
It's
First
ridiculous.
of all, before we even get into the actual comments of what was said, coaches, come on, man. You got to be smarter than that. You're a coach, man. You're not a player. It's different when you're a player. When you're a player, I feel like you kind of can get away with having an opinion more and being more vocal about your political opinions and stuff, because you're the talent. But as a coach, man, you're so replaceable. Like, we can't have distractions coming from a coach. So regardless of what your personal beliefs are, I'm going to need you to keep them to yourselves, okay? And then on top of that, it was just such a stupid comparison, first of all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think most people can agree that we don't want people burning down businesses and shit like that. But, I mean, you think it's like not everybody in a protest is doing that. Yeah, there are going to be some bad people that take advantage of the fact that a protest is going on. But, I mean, the George Floyd protest, comparing that to, like, the quote-unquote dust up where people died at the Capitol is stupid, because, like, burning businesses down is definitely wrong. But at the same time, that doesn't have anything to do with taking over the Capitol like some rogue ass crazy motherfuckers. Both, like, that's wrong as well. So what are we even talking about right now? And I just don't understand what he was trying to do. Like, you weren't really the only conversation you're creating is how stupid you are, like how dumb your opinion is. So
I didn't get it. Like, what made him want to make that press conference and start talking about that? Do you know? Like, I didn't see.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it was because a reporter. So he commented on a Twitter post on his own personal Twitter page, and I guess nobody, like, I don't know if he hasn't talked to the media since then or what, but a reporter, I guess he saw the comment and he asked Jack Del Rio about the comment, and the comment on the Twitter page was a comment about people being. It was on an article about people being, like, it was just talking about the incident at the Capitol and people, I guess, being charged for it and everything. And then he threw out some random comment that was basically about what about the businesses, that kind of thing that he was already talking about. Which
I just think that was just ridiculous, man. That whole, and I don't know. Do you think it ends at a fine, or do you think this goes more? Like, maybe he can. Maybe he might lose his job. What do you think?
I think it depends on Del Rio. I think if he can shut up and just do his job, I think he'll be able to keep it, because Del Rio is a good defensive coordinator. I mean, he's been in this league for a long time. He's a 2-time head coach. But honestly, that's what makes it more unacceptable, is how long you've been in the league. The fact that you have been a head coach. Exactly. You know better. You know how this shit works, dude. You can't be out here being a distraction as a coach. Give me a break.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. And good for Ron Rivera to take the stand and, being that leader that he is. This team has enough going on behind closed doors, as we are still dealing with Daniel Snyder's mess. I mean, Jesus, this whole organization, there's some questionable guys running this organization, man.
And don't even let me get into the stadium management over there. Okay.
Exactly. We call them the poopy pipes team. That stadium, man, that whole organization is just a flat out joke.
If I was the NFL, I'd be trying to sell that team just to get somebody in there that can rebuild this damn.
Yeah. And I think we just lost Kiefer. No, Kiefer's gone. until he comes back. We're gonna move on for the Denver Broncos. They sold for a whopping $4.5 billion. I mean, this is from a Walmart guy. He's a billionaire, of course. Jesus Christ. But this whole organization now going to be run by new people, and they have come out already and said, "Hey, um, we want Peyton Manning on board. We want Peyton Manning on board, and we want him to be a part of this organization." So we'll see about that. That's going to be pretty interesting because we know Peyton Manning has the telecast already, and he wants to be. I think Peyton Manning in his career will own a NFL team. I think for right now, though, he's enjoying his time being, doing whatever the hell he wants. He's getting paid from ESPN to just sit on his ass and call games with his brother. But the Broncos selling for $4.5 billion, and now Russell Wilson is asking, he wants a big payday. He wants a 5-year, $250 million payday. I'm like, my Lord. I mean, do you think Russell Wilson is worth that much money? The Walmart Broncos, exactly, Florida Burn. And I actually saw a picture of it. I wish I looked it up before this. But it was the logo of the Broncos in Walmart colors with the Walmart logo next to it. It was so freaking funny. But yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. It's crazy, crazy, crazy. But I want to talk about Aaron Rodgers right now before we get Kiefer back in here. So Rodgers said he definitely wants to end his career with the Packers. So that is a breath of fresh air for me, of course. You know what I'm saying? As a Packers fan, we've been dealing with this crap. If Rodgers is going to go, is Roger going to leave? Well, now he solidifies he is going to stay with us and retire with us. So that's good. But I wanted to bring this up and share with y'all guys because this comes out. Let me drop the banner real quick. This comes out today from Devontae Adams. He's quoting, "As far as talent and ability goes, it's really similar if I'm keeping it real, comparing Derek Carr and Rodgers. Comparing Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers. The talent's similar? The talent and ability is similar? Are you kidding me? Now, Devontae, I know that's your boy. I know that's your best buddy, your neighbor. You live right next door to each other, but that is ridiculous. That is the most blasphemous statement I've ever seen. I mean, nothing to poo-poo on Derek Carr about. Don't get me wrong. Derek Carr is a great, great player. But you just compared him to a 4-time MVP. What the hell? I'm sorry, 3-time MVP. But what the hell is going on? To a Super Bowl champion quarterback, you're comparing Derek Carr to him. You got me messed up all the way, man. But that is ridiculous. I had to throw that up there and show y'all that one, man, because I didn't understand the whole Derek Carr thing. But what's your opinion on that, Burn? Let me see. But what about Jordan Love? Do you guys draft a quarterback this year since there's some nice talent in this year's draft? Or do you think Jordan Love's the future when A-Rod hangs him up? I don't know, man. That's a good question because that's a lot of people have been asking me about that. Like, what's the Jordan Love situation going to be like? Like, I honestly don't know. I can't tell you. I don't know if we trade him because Kiefer and I have talked about what's next for Jordan Love. Do we trade him? I don't know. I don't think so. As we see Kiefer finally back. You okay, man?
So sorry, guys. I had a power surge literally for a split second. It literally just did a split second, but it cut my internet out. I had to
Oh my God. Well, let's bring this topic back up, man. I gave my opinions on it, but what's yours? Like, we know it's the Walmart Denver Broncos now selling for $4.5 billion. What's your opinions on this?
Well, I'm kind of annoyed that they sold the team to a white guy, to be honest with you. All right.
Oh,
We've talked about this already, man. Like, the answer to this solution, to this diversity problem, is to get some diverse owners in there, man. And this was your opportunity, and they just didn't. And the thing is, I felt like the NFL tried to get ahead of this and save face because they were like, just so everybody knows, this is a blind bid, and we have to take the highest bidder. And I was like, do you though? Do you have to take the highest bidder? Like, says who? Who says you have to do that? And like, in my opinion, it would be beneficial for the league to literally be like, okay, who's the highest bid that is a minority? And then take that, and whatever the difference is, the league just spits that out to the owner. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
I understand the owner is going to want the most, so you guys just take that L and spit it out to get this new ownership group in there. Also, I don't know if you knew this, but there was a report that came out that there was actually somebody else that was willing to bid $5 billion.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh, okay. Okay, go ahead.
He's from the 76ers, I think. I think he's a part of the 76ers or some kind of organization sports-wise. He was like, "Oh, I would pay $5 billion for it." I was like, "Damn." It's just crazy how like these guys have so much fucking money to literally just say that, like, "Oh, well, I would have offered him $5 billion, but oh well." But yeah, like I was saying, because I was talking about while you were gone, they want Peyton Manning to be involved in this organization.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, what do you think that's going to happen? Because I said I think Peyton Manning's loving sitting on his ass, calling games with his brother as like the telecast, getting paid money from ESPN, just chilling. But I said I do think Peyton Manning will be an owner of a team one day. I think or not an owner, but like head of a team. I do eventually see him moving into that role, sometime in his career. But what do you think about the whole Peyton Manning thing?
I think he will do it, honestly. I mean, I don't know that, but if the reports are true that they were offering him basically ownership stake in it, then yeah, I think that it's really hard for people to turn down ownership in an NFL team. Bro, it's not going to come every day. Like, no matter who you are, it doesn't matter if you're Peyton Manning, it doesn't matter if you're Tom Brady, you got to take that offer now because it might not hold. I mean, somebody else gets a hold of it and then they ain't got the shares to give it to you.
Yeah. So I think it'll be interesting though. But I would love to see Peyton Manning in like a front office role.
I think he'd do it too. I definitely think he would.
Yeah. But let's talk about some NFL retirements that happened throughout the past week now. We had a couple. We had Frank Gore. He signed a one-day contract with the 49ers, officially retiring with them. Number 3 all-time in rushing yards. Man, we've seen some good years with Frank Gore. And then we've seen Ryan Fitzmagic hang up the cleats finally. The hip problem was enough for him. He said, "I'm out." And then now he has a job lined up already with Amazon, or they're in talks.
Yeah, it's rumored, but he'll be great at that. I want to start with Frank Gore. First of all, first ballot Hall of Famer in my books. What about you, Max?
First ballot, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you're top 3, bro. You're top 3 in the league.
He's Mr. Reliable. Oh, reliable, man. Because, I mean, honestly, I think there might have been one year where his stats really jumped off the page as probably top 3. Other than that, he early in his career, reliable 1,000-yard rusher. And then later in his career, man, he just always found a way to get on the field and rack those yards, man. I mean,
stayed healthy too.
Frank Gore is the Tom Brady of running backs.
Oh, he's
as far as durability. I don't mean it in that way. I mean it in length of career. Frank Gore, for him and AP, dude. Like, what other running back played later into their lives than those two?
Yeah, like you're talking about longevity wise, running back.
Yeah, just like age, like how many years they played.
Yeah, and I mean, he was still pretty decent. I mean, he wasn't of course, he wasn't old Frank Gore, but he was still out there, running some good runs and getting yardage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
and Jaguars fans love Frank Gore because Frank Gore got a first down that helped push us into that number 1 overall pick to get Trevor Lawrence. So he'll always be a classic in my book.
Your heart. Yeah,
exactly. And with Fitzmagic, man, I mean, he had such an interesting career. Okay. I saw something where they were showing all the quarterbacks that came out in his draft class, and like, dude, he outworked a lot of people, man. And it's just funny with him because honestly, if we gave Hall of Fame bids to backup quarterbacks, he is a Hall of Fame backup quarterback. Obviously, I'm joking. He's not a Hall of Fame player, but listen, I mean, this was Mr. Reliable as a backup, and he had those times. He had those times in his career for just a second where you thought, damn, is this guy a fucking starter? Like, you remember that year with the Jets?
Yeah.
Like, damn.
Oh, yeah.
And then that start with the Bucks where, like, I think Jameis was suspended like a game or 2 games, and he started those 2, but then he was playing so good because he had like it was like the first 4 games he had over 400 yards passing, and they like, literally made Jameis sit. Exactly, they made Jameis sit because he was so on fire. And then you look at Miami. I mean, dude, he did wonders for that team. I can't wait to see what Tua ends up being because I feel like Fitzmagic did help him a lot while he was there.
Yeah, and I really do hope he and Amazon do get this deal going because I just want to hear him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's just a very charismatic guy. You know, his press conferences were awesome. His like after game, interviews were like just funny. And like, I just want to see him as like a TV personality for sure. Like, he would be really good for the league to be like a face, on television after it's all said and done. And then we have Alex Mack, the center for the 49ers. So the 49ers, they lose Mack. He had a great career as well. I think he started 196 games, and all the games that he played, he started. You know what I'm saying? So he stayed healthy his whole freaking career. He played with the Browns, the Falcons, and the 49ers. Center, down in those trenches, man. Do you think Alex Mack? I think he might be a Hall of Famer as well. I think Alex Mack.
I definitely have Alex Mack as a Hall of Famer. He was so consistent, dude. Actually, fun fact, I don't know if you know this, but the Jaguars tried to sign Mack one time, and the Browns had like a tender on him, like transition tag. So we signed him to this big ass deal, and the Browns took the deal from us. Damn. And he stayed with the Browns before he ended up going over to the Falcons. But Alex Mack, he was definitely Mr. Reliable. Quiet, like, I mean, he played at offensive line, so they're all kind of quiet. But I feel like Alex Mack, people really did not talk about him till he hit his late 20s. Like 29 was when he started to be considered a top tack or a top center. But he's always been that way. I mean, he was good from the get go. But I want to switch back to Fitzmagic though, because there's one thing I just feel like I have to mention because it was so hilarious. Did you see that meme out there that was like, in 20 years, Fitzmagic is going to have his retirement from broadcasting, and he's going to have worked with 19 different
oh my god
TV stations.
I didn't see that meme. That's awesome. Yeah, he worked for all of them: ESPN, NBC.
Right. He was on Bleacher, Amazon.
Yeah,
that's Barstool. He's done it all.
He was on MaxCoverage. But yeah, that's funny. But speaking of, let's head in some OTA news as we have a couple, key players holding out. Lamar Jackson is skipping OTAs, right?
He did skip OTAs, but that's true. But I don't know. I don't really see it as a holdout. I have heard a couple people call it a holdout, but bro, Lamar Jackson, we've talked about this multiple times. The Ravens wanted to get a deal done with Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson did not want to come to the negotiation table. The reports are that every time they asked, sorry, I'm just blanking right now. Every time they asked Lamar Jackson to come talk about the contract, he'd say, I'm worried about a Super Bowl right now. And his perspective is that he thinks they can win a Super Bowl right now. And if they do, then they'll start negotiating. But I mean, I don't know. I think he just didn't want to come to OTAs. But John Harbaugh, I mean, he was supportive of it. At first he was kind of a little sly, but last time they reported or they asked him about him was this week. And he was like, listen, Lamar is going to be here for mandatory mini camps. And I know he's been working, and he always comes in great shape.
Yeah. I mean, you can't really like take people skipping OTAs really far. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Rodgers skips OTAs. Yeah. Rodgers skips OTAs every freaking season. There is mandatory coming up. So that's when we're really going to know, because I know DK Metcalf is holding out, or is not holding out, but like sitting out, I should say, as he and the Seahawks still work on a deal. But I don't know, man, because I think Debo reported, so Debo's there.
Yeah, he did.
So that whole drama is kind of like under the rug now. And I mean, we'll see. Really not much to kind of like touch on until we see mini camp, until we see the mandatories, because people get fined about, I think, like $94,000 a day if they skip
I think
out.
it depends on your contract. It depends on who you are, the fines, because I mean, like if you're a rookie, you know what I'm saying, you ain't got no money.
Yeah, right. You're like, I need to get my ass there. Shit. But like all the vets in the league now, like not a lot of people come to OTAs. I know Kyler Murray reported, so that's good for the Cardinals as we saw the drama with them unfold throughout this offseason. So good look for Kyler and the Cardinals. Maybe they will get a deal, but we'll see, man. We'll keep a close eye on all this mini camp drama coming up as we shift over to Tua, because we touched on this last episode, the whole, Tua throwing Tyreek Hill, all this crap that, the Miami Dolphins uploaded on Twitter and everyone ripped them apart like, yo, that was an underthrow. Like, what kind of throw was that? So Tua jumps on, and what did he say to everyone?
Oh, he really didn't say too much. He just kind of stood up for himself because he was like, I mean, we're out here working and all the other people are watching. So,
Yeah.
it wasn't anything crazy, but I liked his response. I liked his mentality. He did not seem fazed by the critics. Honestly, he really didn't, man. Like he didn't seem concerned about it. And I think that people are sleeping on Tua, man. I don't think that there's anybody that works harder than Tua. Like I think that he has plenty of work ethic, and I just think that people are dogging him because he hasn't had early success like other QBs have, like Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow. But it's like you look at the management of him, and he's had injuries. So I just think watch out for Tua.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, because the main reason why people are always criticizing Tua is just because Herbert was picked after him. That's the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? Teams want him to produce just like Herbert did. And like we said already, I think this might be the year that we see Tua really show out, because now there's no excuse at all for Tua. If you stay healthy, you have the weapons around you and the speed around you as well, because that was another thing. He can't throw past 15, 20 yards. You have all these speedy guys now on that roster, deep threat guys. You're going to need to throw past 25, 20 yards. You know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
he basically
but
was like,
go ahead.
Oh, I'm just saying, I saw he basically said like, "Oh, I threw some money balls today in practice, but y'all didn't post any of those. That's funny." He was trying to make a joke out of it and
He
stuff.
did. He did start it that way. He did start it. It's
Yeah.
been like almost a week since that happened. But yeah, with another thing with Tua though is like people trashed his deep ball or his deep passing. He just didn't make that many attempts. Like he just hasn't done it that much. But when you look at the actual numbers, he actually is he was one of the more accurate deep passers in the NFL. But also, I mean, you got to give it to the offensive line as well. You got to put some strain there because they were ranked like 30th or 31st. Yep. So it's like, I mean, if they're not blocking, we know Tua is not a runner. He's going to need some time to get the ball downfield, even with the speed.
Yeah, good point there. And they have done wonders with that offensive line this offseason. So let's see what they do. They have Teron Armstead now and Connor Williams. So they beefed up that line. Let's see how it pays off during preseason and this upcoming season as we're shifting over to the voice of the Jaguar. Kiefer Gazzard, talk to him, man.
Yeah, not too much going on. Obviously, it's OTA time, so this is just boring news.
Just boring
but funny story that happened. I heard Doug Peterson talking about it. So apparently he had all the guys come in for the last day of the OTA mini camps, and they got ready like they were about to run some drills or whatever. And he said that they talked about basically the plan for after this week's session of OTAs. And then he said, all right, well, take all this shit off, put your clothes on, get in this bus. We're going to Topgolf. And they went and they took up a Topgolf. Yeah. Like the whole team. And they were just having that team camaraderie, I felt like that was a good move on his part, first of all, because one, we need the players to like the coach. I mean, we saw what happened with Urban Meyer, man. They need an environment where they can be themselves. So show them that they can be themselves. I felt like that was a really good move on his part. One thing I kind of did not like excuse me, is also what they did is they gave them a week off of like the mini camps, the next session of when they're going to come in. They gave them a whole week
Yeah.
off. I kind of felt
Really?
like, listen, man. Yeah, I kind of felt like, listen, we need to be in this fucking building. All right. We
Yeah,
need to
for
work.
real.
We need to get to work. Okay. I understand we want to all be friends. Listen, we can do the Top Golf thing again the last day of this week, but let's get a good week of work. And so I kind of didn't like that a little bit, but Doug Peterson says that they've done what they need to do and that they earned the week off. So if he, I mean, I'm not gonna like go harsh on it. I would have went a different direction. I would have been like, listen, I would love to give you the week off, but we know what team we had last year, and we need to get this clicking. So we're gonna show up. But
imagine being at Top Golf, like we're just chilling and we see the whole fucking Jaguars.
Be wild. That would be wild, dude.
I'm sure they probably had to like really rent that whole place out, like no one else there. You know what I'm saying? Just because like it would be too many people swarming.
I bet they did one
floor. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet there were still other people there, but also you got to think of the time of day that they went to, because we're talking about a Friday and they start practice like, I think they get there at like 9, so they probably got to Top Golf at like 11-ish. So you would think it probably just is slow in general at that time too. Yeah, I would at least. I would think, people are still working.
So Florida Burn right here says he gave the veterans the week off, not the rookies.
That's right. Thank you, Florida boy. That is right. That is a good point. It was, but I would have made everybody be there.
Yeah, he's a Jaguars fan too, so that's your boy right there. But yeah, that's interesting, man. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I've seen some really good plays from ETN, over Twitter and all that stuff. And I actually saw a video of James Robinson running a little bit up and down that field.
They're saying there's a chance he could be ready week 1.
Oh, for real?
So, okay. Yeah, they're saying it's pretty realistic too. Like he might be ready to play in training camp, like at least like contact, maybe not 100%, but he'll be right. They're saying it's a possibility he'll be ready for contact. Which they're super excited about ETN because they said that the speed is real with ETN. So I'm kind of excited when the way that they worded it like that, the speed is real. I was like, y'all got me interested.
You need that. And then
one last really good piece of news for us Jaguars fans. All right. Everybody knows this dickhead. And I always pronounce his name wrong, and I'm going to do it again, and I don't care. All right. Jason LaCafora, the guy from CBS. That's always dogging us, bro. He always dogs us. Okay. And actually, Jaguars today pointed something out, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. So he's not with CBS anymore. I don't know why. I don't know if he got fired or if he left on his own, but he's gone. Okay. And they brought up an article from him that was like 2 or 3 years ago. And he basically said, mark my words, by 2022, the Jaguars will not be in Jacksonville. Well, guess what, Jason?
We're here.
We're still fucking here, buddy. You're an idiot. All right. And I'm glad you don't work there anymore. We all hate you, bro. You are not welcome in Jacksonville. Whatever you do next, make sure it's out of this fucking city. All right.
Yeah. Screw that guy, man. But transition over, because we were talking about ETN and James Robinson. You brought this topic up. Do you think, now let me ask you, you're the Jags fan here, so let me ask you this question. Do you think the Jaguars regret trading Leonard Fournette?
I don't think they do. But I just thought of this because it does bother me a little bit, just basically how everything went down with Fournette, all right? Because listen, we take him 4th overall, and let's be honest, when he got here, he was very cocky, okay? Like there's no sugarcoating that shit. In the preseason, he said that the NFL was quote unquote easy, and also sorry, I'm reading some comments. Also, he was always just like the cockiest motherfucker around people. But the one thing that does bother me is how well he plays now, because he is so efficient as a runner. When I look at what he did down the stretch for Tampa after we cut him down the stretch, how efficient he was as a runner. Then you look at last year. I mean, his numbers, like overall numbers, aren't insane because he did get hurt partway through the year. And he, at one point, he was splitting carries with Ronald Jones before he took over the backfield. I think it was probably like week 3 when he really established it as his own. But I look at the year coming up and I'm like, damn, bro, Fournette is somebody that I'm looking at. And I think he is going to have a monster year. I think that the way he's been in this system, it does bother me a little bit. Not that we got rid of him, but that we got nothing in return for Fournette. Like just a straight up cut. But I can't say that I regret the fact that he's not on the team because look, we found James Robinson for literally like a can of fucking soup. All right. And then
for real though,
we got ETN, who to me is kind of a different back than James Robinson because of the speed aspect. And ETN, I'm not going to say he's not a power runner at all because he scored a lot of touchdowns in college. So I think he can do the goal line running. But just as far as a breakaway speed, I just feel like there's a huge difference there. And to me, ETN's going to take outside runs a ton versus James Robinson, who kind of goes inside a lot.
Maybe, yeah.
But at the same time, man, I wish we could have got something for him. Like a third. I feel like he would have been worth a third, man.
Yeah, he definitely would have been.
Like it is gross, the fact that we got no value for him. But I understand that, you have transitioning regiments and it's like you get to a point where, I mean, Dave Caldwell was the guy that was there when they drafted him as GM. But the fact is, Leonard Fournette 100% was absolutely a Tom Coughlin draft pick, in my opinion. You look at the way Tom Coughlin runs teams. I don't think if Tom Coughlin wasn't in place, I do not think we would have drafted Leonard Fournette. But overall, no, I do not think Dave Caldwell, I don't think he would have been a first round running back kind of guy on his own.
You don't, so you're saying right now you don't think Fournette was a first round talent?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that the Jaguars, if Tom Coughlin wasn't there, they wouldn't have picked him. Like Dave Caldwell would have definitely went in a different direction with it.
Oh yeah, I got you. So yeah,
I'm just saying he was definitely like I know that Caldwell was there when we drafted him, and Caldwell was the one that got rid of him. But I don't look at Caldwell as the person that invested the first round pick in him.
Gotcha.
Because it was definitely Coughlin.
Yeah, I mean, I loved Fournette when he came out of LSU. Like, everyone was talking about McCaffrey and all that stuff. I was saying Fournette was going to be that guy. But I'm agreeing with you just the way y'all handled it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you couldn't get nothing for this guy at all. And, like, I don't know what took the Bucs so damn long to realize, like, Fournette is way better than Ronald Jones. You know what I'm saying? And they just finally unleashed him. And just to see, when he was with the Jaguars, he didn't go nowhere. Like, I remember one game, what was he, 20 rushes for, like, 60 yards? But, like, the O-line for y'all during that span was very bad, man. So, like, you couldn't really put it on Fournette. Now, you're saying, like, I remember a lot of Jaguars people were talking about, like, the breakaway speed, like, how he can separate. He just didn't have that explosiveness. But, man, it's showing now. So, I don't know what.
And to be honest with you, when he was here, man, I was a hard critic of Fournette because there was a lot of games where his stats were so padded. Like I remember this game with Tennessee where he had like 9 yards going into the fourth quarter, and then
70-yard run.
This one run that just pads it all up. But now when you look at it, hindsight's always 20/20. It really just feels like there wasn't anybody on this team that could take pressure off Fournette because Blake Bortles was not that dude. Nobody was scared of him. Like, listen, we'll load 8 every single time.
Yep.
So now I look at it and I'm like, man, we were part of the problem. I do think Fournette, I think that his attitude had a huge change when he got to the Bucs because one, I think not starting right away probably did hurt his ego a little bit, and being around Tom Brady and the way Tom Brady works, it sets a new level of expectation. Blake couldn't set that level of expectation for Fournette.
Yeah. Well, we'll see, man. This year, we'll definitely see if this topic is true or not. Because I just think with ETN coming, it's going to be very exciting for Jaguars fans. So we'll see, man. Let's head to the Packers. I talked a little bit about this while you were dealing with your grade 1 Wi-Fi problems, but Aaron Rodgers has came out and said, "Listen, I definitely see myself retiring with the Packers," which thank God. That's what I've been waiting for years now, right? For 3 years, we didn't know what he wanted to freaking do, but now he got the money. Now he's cool. Now he's content. But he also said, "I think about retiring all the time. I'm gonna be honest with y'all." So now it's like, come on, man, stop doing this. Stop telling us one great thing, and then you just kind of backpedal it all. You know what I'm saying? But I wanted to show this to you, Kiefer, because I don't know if you've seen what happened today, what the news came out today. I brought a slide up for you, man. Now, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers here, but so did Devontae Adams when a reporter came up to him and talked about Derek Carr. He came out and said, as far as talent and ability goes, it's really similar how Derek Carr and Aaron Rodgers play, if I'm keeping it real. What? Like like I was saying earlier, I get he's your best friend. You know what I'm saying? You always say something nice about your best buddy, your neighbor, your old college roommate. You know what I'm saying? I get it. But what kind of crack are you smoking, Devontae Adams? You're comparing Derek Carr, which he's not a bad quarterback by any means, everybody. I'm not poo-pooing on Derek Carr. Is he a 3-time MVP? Is he a Super Bowl winning champion? No. He's not even near close to that. So, Kiefer, please, what are your thoughts about this whole situation? Like, do you agree at all with this?
Well,
Please tell me you
obviously
don't.
not. But listen,
Thank you.
listen. I mean, what the
Ridiculous,
hell
man.
do you expect him to say? All right. I know that they pulled this quote, but what was the question that was asked? Do you know?
I don't know. I just saw this on Twitter.
I don't know either, but I am sure that there was some question that led to this. Like it was probably like some shit that was like, so do you have any concerns about maybe a drop off in your production from going from Rodgers to Carr? It had to have been some shit like that. Like I don't think that he would have just thrown this out of the blue.
It just randomly came up.
I don't even think that like he necessarily really believes that. But what else are you gonna say, man? I mean, and the thing is, like, I truly do believe that Devontae Adams doesn't necessarily have to have a drop off. Like, he doesn't have to have a drop off in production. I mean, what did he had a shit ton last year? Didn't he have like how many stars did he have? Wasn't it like 1,800 or something?
I think it was 1,700, close to there. I'll double check.
So that's pretty high. Like to me, if he has 1,500, that's not necessarily a drop off. Like the fact that you had 1,700, like that's hard to top. You know what I'm saying? But like I think he could have 1,400 plus yards. 1,500. Okay.
Yeah.
I still think that he could average close to like 80 yards a game. I think he could have a shit ton of touchdowns. I don't think him switching from Rodgers to Carr necessarily is going to affect him because he has played with Carr before. And I think that chemistry will naturally kind of turn over. Obviously, he's probably gotten better since he's been in college, but so has Derek Carr. So I think that they'll be able to connect really fast. But I don't have a problem with him saying that, though. And then as far as Aaron Rodgers' future, one thing that I'll say is I think that Aaron Rodgers, this is speculation, but I think it's one of two things. I think there is a possibility that Aaron Rodgers just loves attention. I truly,
he really does,
honestly think that. You look at the things he does, like the way that he goes about his business and like the way that it gets aired out. I do feel like he likes the attention a little bit. He does hate when people hate on him. You can tell that. It does bother him to his core a little bit. But I think that he likes being in the spotlight. So I think even if he knew he was going to play 5 more years, I think no matter what he's going to say, it's a year-to-year basis because he wants you to sweeten him up a little bit. He wants the Packers to call him on the offseason and say, "Hey, buddy, we're just making sure you're good. How you doing? Is there anything you want us to do for you this offseason? Are you planning on coming back?" He wants them to do that year in and year out.
I think,
but I will also say at the same time, okay. Rodgers also very much comes off as somebody that does love life outside of football. Like Rodgers is somebody that you can tell he loves being a rich motherfucker that can go to crazy places and do shit that other people can't do. So it also wouldn't surprise me if he retired a little bit early just because he loves life outside of football. And he probably does get tired of working. He does come off as that guy that gets tired of the work of it. But this is just total speculation. I do not think that Rodgers will retire within the next 4 years if he does not win a Super Bowl ring. I think that if he wins another Super Bowl ring, like if you guys won the Super Bowl this year, I do think Rodgers would strongly consider retirement to walk out, like, you know what I'm saying, into the sunset, like, and enjoy the rest of his life, knowing that, hey, like, because when you win 2, I feel like if you want to be like a super elite quarterback, it kind of is pressure to win 2. Like, they really want you to win more than 1 to be that super elite, hit that next status. In my opinion, regardless of whether he wins another one, he is in that tier, like that you're the top to have ever even done this shit. But
Yeah.
if he got another ring, it would really help his debate
Solidify it.
in his rankings of the GOAT as far as quarterback goes.
Do you think Rodgers will win one more?
I was gonna ask you the same shit.
I'm gonna give you my opinion.
Man,
You already know I'm gonna say yeah.
man,
You know I'm gonna
I'm
say
sure
yeah.
you are gonna say yeah. I definitely, if you would have asked me the same exact question last year, Max, I
You'd say the same
100%
thing.
would have said yes. I 100% would have said yes. But now, man, after what you guys did last year, like, and the fact that of all these NFC championship games where you guys have lost, like, oh man, it puts stress on me to say yes. But I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say yes because I just feel like he's too great. Like, he's too great.
Yeah.
I don't think that I think that your teams are going to decline from here. I don't think that you're going to have as good of a team as you had last year. I just truly feel like your team last year was so built for a Super Bowl.
We were
I don't
there,
think
man.
I think it's going to be hard because people are starting to get to that. Like, I mean, you guys, listen, like, to be honest with you, I mean, let me ask you this. If you guys would have kept Devontae Adams, which you didn't, do you think you would have been able to keep Campbell?
No, I don't think we would have been able.
That's my thing. Like, your players are getting to that point where you just paid Jair, you know what I'm saying? And like, it's getting to that point where it's like people are coming. Rashawn Gary's breaking out. I don't think he's still on a rookie deal, I believe, if I'm not.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, so that's another guy. So it's like you guys are getting to that point where it's like you need to do it now, bro. You need to do it now. But I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna give you a yes. Even though now I doubt it a lot, like I doubt it a lot more than I would have last year. Last year, it would have been an absolute yes. Now it's a yes, but it's like a cautionary yes. Like I would not be that surprised if I was wrong. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Hey, man, you already know I'm going to say this, but I wanted to bring this comment back up because Florida made a great comment right here. Devontae Adams is facing a totally different secondaries in the AFC West. We'll see how he performs because the Broncos, Chargers, and the Chiefs have good ass secondaries. Which is like that's a good statement right there because I mean, look at our division. We had the Vikings, the secondary was ass. The Bears trash.
Was solid. It was solid.
Yeah,
I mean, the team sucked overall, but they had some players back there. The defense in general did, but they had a couple of people. Amos was back there for a while, not anymore, obviously. Eddie Jackson. So
yeah, Eddie Jackson.
I agree. That is a really good point. The only thing I'll say is the Chiefs secondary. I think that's going to be ass this year.
Yeah, he said LeBron or Aaron Rodgers, LeBron James, NFL. Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point that is true, but. Let's move on. Let's go back to your division because we have the maniac Darius Leonard went through back surgery, but how it like was brought up was kind of weird. About what did they say about his back and his ankles? Like, what's going on with Darius Leonard, man?
Yeah, it was really interesting. So he had an ankle injury last year that bothered him all of last year, basically, and something happened during this offseason while he was working out where he suffered a back injury that like prompted surgery, but they were able to figure out that the back was actually what was causing functionality issues with his ankle. So they're saying that they're saying that this surgery is going to make him better than ever, pretty much. And he's expected to be back before the season starts. So it shouldn't have any effect on that or anything like that. And it's supposed to expect it to be like a pretty fast recovery. So, yeah, I mean, it's just like something to watch out for, man. That's just wild that he had that injury all of last year. And then all of a sudden they realized like, hey, this back is actually what's messing up your ankle. Like, that's crazy to me.
Damn. Yeah, that is kind of crazy. So it's just basically like a cleanup surgery, I'm assuming. Nothing to really be cautious about. It's going to help out. I mean, we said it before the show. If the maniac is playing like that with, some injuries, some back problems and ankle problems, like him being 100% healthy, oh my God, that's a scary sight for the NFL and for quarterbacks in their division. But speaking of quarterbacks, Russell Wilson wants, what was it, 5 years, $250 million?
$300 million. It was $310 million that he's looking for. Yeah. That's what they said, that his camp wants a 5-year, $310 million extension.
I would not give him that, man. I wouldn't
What
give
do
him
you
that
mean
much
you
money.
wouldn't give
I
him
would
that? What
not.
else are
I'm
you gonna
sorry.
do?
No. I mean,
You just
I
traded
listen.
like a huge package deal to Seattle to get this man, and you're gonna tell me you're gonna let him play his contract out and let him walk away?
No, I'm not. But I wouldn't personally give him that much money. But then you got to realize who just got paid around the league, like Deshaun Watson, like we said, $230 million. So that's like your floor. You know what I'm saying? Like if he's getting that much, I want around there plus more. So I understand why the camp is saying, but then I have to realize, me personally, like the market is going up, 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 up. So like, we saw Mahomes get the 500 million, but the way it's broken down, like the Chiefs set that up for a great, like they can restructure, it's very team friendly, his contract. So, and then we saw Josh Allen get his money. So I understand where he's coming from, but listen, man, I understand the Denver Broncos haven't had their quarterback since Peyton Manning has left. They jump, from one to another. They never. That's one thing about what's his name? The owner for the Broncos, the quarterback. I'm blanking on his name.
The owner for the Broncos?
Not the GM, the quarterback.
He's not the GM anymore, but John Elway.
John
He's
Elway.
now
Yeah.
they like promoted him. Now there's like another guy that's the
Yeah,
GM.
yeah. But he can't freaking draft the quarterback at all. The way he scouted quarterbacks was terrible. So I understand why Russell Wilson is asking for this much money, because he probably will get it. But me personally, man, I don't know if I would pay him that much. That's just me though. He's a good quarterback. He's great, but he's like, it's been a while since we've seen Russell Wilson really do some stuff in this league. I mean, at one point he was the front runner for MVP, and then we saw the drop off, and then he got hurt last year. They never really got into the mix. Seattle did. So I don't know, man. I just don't think Russell Wilson is worth that much freaking money. But like I
Let me
said,
correct myself, because Pat McAfee and them definitely said he was like that he was looking for 310, but it is 250. It's 5 years, 250,
oh,
which
okay.
is 50 million a year.
Okay, that's better then. That's better. That's a
But
lot of freaking money.
honestly, dude, I just feel like we're at a point with quarterbacks where it's like, what are you gonna do if they like demand this? Like, what are you gonna do, man? You're gonna just go with a Drew Lock? Is that what we're gonna start doing nowadays?
No.
I think that people will pay these guys whatever they want. I think if Russell Wilson demanded 310, they would give him 310.
Yeah. Well, speaking of some guys that got the bag, the Rams did give Aaron Donald the freaking bag, and then they they said, Cooper Kupp, come over here. I got some money for you too, man. So Aaron Donald, he got a $40 million raise, basically making him the highest non-quarterback paid player in NFL history. He's gonna make $95 million the next 2 years with a $31 million annual salary. So that, golly, good for him, man.
Worth every penny. What are you going to do, man? You got to keep Aaron Donald happy. Listen, it's so huge that they got this done, because, I mean, if Aaron Donald was serious about like a potential retirement, then honestly, if you let Aaron Donald retire, you're no longer a Super Bowl contender. Like,
no,
that's how big of an impact he has on this team. So they had to get it done. I don't even know if he actually would have retired, but regardless, it was worth every penny. And then Cooper Kupp, man, I mean, he's up there now with I think they said he's like the sixth average per year, like per year.
He got 3 years, 80 million. So basically, over the next 5 years, he'll make 110 mil altogether. So I think he is top up there. Yeah,
worth it,
as he deserves it too.
So McAfee brought this back up. McAfee actually went ahead and did our research for us about the salary cap with these two signings, because like, how does this make sense? You have the highest paid cornerback in the league. You got the highest paid defense, the highest paid non-quarterback in the league.
Yeah.
I think I said quarterback. I meant cornerback in Jalen Ramsey. But and then obviously Matt Stafford also has an up there deal. I think he's probably like sixth highest.
He just got paid. Yep.
So it's like, how is this possible? There was a guy that came on to McAfee. I forget who it was. Or somebody that was like a former former front office dude that basically says, yeah, the salary cap's like it's not fucking.
It's bull crap.
Yeah, like you can put those void years on it and the owners can pay it off and it not hit your books. So I am just at a loss for words for this because I'm just like, this is really how we do the things, huh? It's really how we do things. But Ian Rapp did say that he believes that eventually some of these owners are going to say some shit about it. And like the ones that can't do it or don't want to do it, they're going to say some shit and be like, look, we got to close this damn loophole.
I was just about to say that it's going to be bad for the small market teams. They can't compete with that shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about the Rams here. They're in LA. I know they don't have a lot of fucking fans, but the fact that they're in LA, that they got money and they're getting money. So like these higher market teams are going to have a advantage over all these small market teams. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
it'll also though, it'll depend on the owners because apparently Carolina's owner is like one of the richest.
He is.
And he's come out and said like, hey, listen, I'm willing to put whatever money we need to win. So I agree. It will benefit the bigger market teams, but I also think it's going to depend on the owners' personalities too, because you can believe it or not, there are going to be owners that are just cheap assholes that are like, no, we're not going to go over the salary cap. I need to make money, So, yeah, it's because I hope Shad Khan is on the other side of that, where he's like, listen, when we're in striking distance, let's just buy everybody. Because I have never noticed Khan to be a cheap person so far. I mean, he's always been willing to spend money, but we have not done shit like the Rams, where it's like we're throwing money at everybody.
Yeah. And I do think Shad Khan would be one of those, like, I don't give a fuck, here's whatever you need. I mean,
I kind of do too. I really kind of do think he would be one of those owners.
Well, speaking of who else got the bag today, actually, the Las Vegas Raiders extend Hunter Renfrow 2 years, $32 million. But, good for him. Good for him, because when he came out of Clemson, he was a great player. I thought he was going to be good, but I didn't think he was going to translate into the league this well. So shout out to you, Hunter Renfrow. You proved a lot of people wrong. But this brings up the topic because, we already saw Waller get his first deal. But now, what about Darren Waller? Like, where's his money at? Because I think we talked about this before the show went on. He's only making about, what, 7 mil? 6 mil this season coming in? Darren Waller is worth more than $6 million. So we're looking at Hunter Renfrow getting 16 mil now a year. What's up with Darren Waller, man?
Yeah, I mean, it's wild, the difference between the wide receiver market and the tight end market. It's honestly insane. I do think Hunter Renfrow is worth that money. It's nuts that guy had 1,000-yard season. And Hunter Renfrow is the perfect example of don't judge a book by its cover, all right? Because if you looked at this guy, he'd look like a guy you could go to the gym with, okay? But he's not. He's a freak athlete, and it's really weird, but he is. And he deserves the money. I think that it was a mutually beneficial. I think it was very fair about where I would say Hunter Renfrow's worth, just based on, like, I would say physical limitations, but his ability to also exceed his physical limitations and still be a beast. With Waller, man, I mean, there's a lot of these tight ends where it's like you're clearly worth more than you're getting paid. And Waller should ask for more. I would ask for more after seeing them pay Devontae what they're paying him and then pay Hunter Renfrow what they're paying him. I would definitely be asking for a raise. But regardless, actually, I want to ask you something else because it kind of inspired me with an idea, okay? And also think about this. You know who probably makes more than Darren Waller? I don't know this, but I feel sure that they do. I bet Hunter Renfrow or not Hunter Renfrow, I'm sorry, Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, I bet both of those tight ends make more than Darren Waller, which is insane, but I bet they do.
Hold on, let me look that up.
They got fat-ass deals. But also, while you're looking that up, just a random ass idea. But what if you were a team, right? And let's just say on the off chance that like 3 elite tight ends hit the market. Let's say it's like, for whatever reason, Travis Kelce and George Kittle, and let's throw in Mark Andrews. All 3 of those guys hit the market. What do you think about an idea if you were a team to just be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to sign all 3 of these guys to what would be a top paid tight end money. And I'm going to put the best blocker at tight end. and I'm going to let those other two just play wide receiver, and we're going to save a shit ton of money, and this is going to work. Do you think it could work?
I don't think so. Just because the speed, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, those guys are great, and I agree with the blocking one, but like, if those guys don't have the speed, it won't work because like it'll just be too slow of an offense.
Good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like they would catch the ball, they would get there, but like that's gonna be a dump off team. You're gonna have to throw quick slants, drags. You're not gonna bust open the freaking secondary. You know what I'm saying? So like it'll be like small little passes here and there. I don't think it would work at all. But I do think that'll be funny.
Let me switch up the idea then. What about this instead? All right. It's Gesicki, who basically is a wide receiver, and he's not super fast wide receiver, but he's solid speed wide receiver. And then let's do Mark Andrews and George Kittle. And then also on your team, you already have, let's say, DJ Chark. Somebody fast but not elite.
Yeah. Someone to break over. Oh. I mean, that would be different because you would have better options there because like Kelsey's good, but he's just not fast. You know what I'm saying? Like when he runs, it's slow motion kind of sometimes. But yeah, if you put some guys like that, like Mark Andrews, Gesicki, like all those guys, I think that could work with a guy that can just go, you know what I'm saying? And of course, Kittle at block. I think that could work too. So that'll be interesting.
Just an interesting thought. I just think it's kind of like a loophole. It's like, why are these people so much better than these other wide receivers, but the wide receivers are making more? It's just ridiculous.
And also, you got to think about this, you know, tight ends and receivers, they have different route running abilities. You know what I'm saying? Just to like get off the line. Right. It's two different things. So like these elite corners and like secondary safeties and all that stuff, they can contain them easily. You know, there's going to be those tight ends that will get open, but you got to realize some of these tight ends are open because the secondary is, you know, out there blocking and defending these receivers. So, you know, the middle is wide open. With just straight tight ends, it might be a different story. And I did look up the salaries, and Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry are both getting $9 million. So they are getting paid more than Darren Waller.
Yeah, and that's wild.
Now you can add Njoku in there as well.
Wild, absolutely wild.
Yeah, but that's all we got today, guys. Here's our links down below right here for all of our social media platforms, weekly NFL podcast shows. Man, hope everyone has a good weekend, and until next time, hopefully we got some news this week. Hopefully it doesn't drown out. You know, it's been kind of a slow June, as you would. We have a lot of
June's always like the slowest. I feel like June's the slowest NFL month, but next month, all right, we got the actual training camps getting started up. I think most of them are late July, but they're still getting started up, and we're going to get into our season predictions for the year. We're going to start picking division winners, wild cards, all that cool shit.
Oh yeah,
quarterback rankings. That's the funnest.
Yeah, we definitely can do that. We can do like a little 32-1. You know what I'm saying? Do like a little something like that, or just give y'all our top 10.
Power ranking? A power ranking?
I mean, we could do something like that. I mean, that kind of would be a lot, so I don't know about all that. We'll do like a top 10.
32.
I know, but I'm saying we'll just probably do it like a top 10, top 15.
Okay.
We don't want to talk about the trash quarterbacks in this league, anyways. But thank y'all for tuning in this far. We've had a solid 4 to 5 all freaking episodes. So salute to all y'all, man. Y'all have a great weekend. Until next week, we're out of here.
Peace.